Well, Victor Harbour was the destination for the riders in today's Santos Tour Down Under. It was the third stage and two of our favourite towns on the race route over the years. We started in Unley. Paul, there was no wind when we left Unley, but it soon developed.
It certainly did, and a number of the teams that I spoke to before the start, Phil, in fact, were asking whether or not they'd got information out on the course, and everybody getting information back about this very strong wind coming off the ocean.
Well, there was a long neutralised section on the race today, almost 10 kilometres, but then we broke away on the Southern Expressway, which is closed for the race, of course, and it is uphill. And traditionally, the early morning breakaway goes, and 4 riders got clear. I think the most important in these 4 men was Thomas de Gendt, because he's a known climber.
Certainly, he's a man who we've seen in the past, especially in races like the Tour of Switzerland, where he won a stage last year, but he was out looking for points out on the course and for King of the Mountains points as well. But on this occasion, the main field didn't let the 4-man breakaway get very much more than a 5.5 minute lead.
No, but on Seldick's Hill, which came at 47 kilometres, this is what he was really aiming at, de Gendt, and he left the other 3. The other 3 was Jan Bakelants, Edouard Vorganoff and the Irishman Matt Bernier. Those 3 guys just sat up, let him go and get the points, and the 10 points he gained, plus the few he'd had already on the first day, gave him the lead in the Skoda King of the Mountains competition. But then we expected the time gaps to continue to grow, but this wind, I'm afraid, stopped all of that, although they did stay clear for the Jayco sprints.
They did. They stayed clear, and once they started to head into Goulwa, that's when the race really started to hot up. The main field very often led by Green Edge, trying to split the peloton, but it didn't really happen, and finally they pulled the last man, Matty Bramier, back into the fold, and it was peloton all together.
That's right. On the road today at Mount Compass and a little bit later on at Goulwa, Thomas de Gendt was giving no presence. He won both of those sprints and continues to climb up high in the Jayco points classification as well. But with 40 kilometres left, the race was all together. We went out on the Fleurieu Peninsula. Although we had lots of attacks, it all came down to a big sprint here in Victor Harbour. A very difficult approach to the line, and guess who won?
Well, I think nobody would expect to see Andre Greipel leaping out of the pack once again, and he certainly did it with a very well-judged sprint to the line. But a lot of other big sprinters, the Aussies trying to get back in there with Mark Renshaw in 4th place and Robbie McEwen, the veteran on Team Green Edge, in 5th.
But the second win for Andre Greipel in his 3 days of racing means he's back in the ochre jersey, just a few seconds in it. At the end of the day, nobody has made much progress since this race started as far as time gains are concerned, and everybody is still in the hat for final victory, which is now just 3 days away.